I think we should start off by defining what metabolic disease is. I talk about it all the time, but may not always do a great job of defining it. And simply put, metabolic disease is energy dismanagement. So metabolism is the mechanisms by which we create energy. And when optimal, it's just an optimal metabolism. As metabolisms start to get inefficient, we get metabolic diseases. And you and I go way back, starting in the obesity space. And I think it would be useful to get your perspective on kind of the origin of how we came across this term and the significance of this term in our own practice.
Yeah. So many moons ago, when we were in the medically managed weight loss space, it was a multifaceted approach to helping people lose weight, primarily focused on psychology and behavior management, I feel like. I mean, everybody knows how to lose weight. You can just Google it and come up with a million different ways to lose weight. That's really not the main issue. It's more of accountability, coaching, why we eat too much, those type of things. But I think you and I really quickly realized, and one of the Wenzelisms, as I love to coin them, when I first met you, that you said was insulin is the devil. And I learned about insulin in nursing school before I became a nurse practitioner, but I kind of forgot its role and how it really works. And so you and I really realized early on that, wow, this is more in depth than we originally thought. And we really have to focus more on the hormonal part of helping people lose weight, i.e. getting their insulin and their blood sugar under control. Because as you've already mentioned, a lot of the diseases, the downstream diseases from metabolic disease, like high blood pressure, high triglyceride levels, truncal obesity, elevated blood sugar and insulin, lead to very scary diseases. And they don't happen overnight. Like you don't wake up and you're hypertensive.
With heart disease.
Yeah. Heart disease. You don't wake up with
Cancer,
dementia. It's a slow burn.
You're feeding both of those.
So really just our origin story is very quickly realizing there's more to this. And for some people, it's just not your fault. That's how you're built. But you have to wrap your head around that kind of biochemical management of energy.
Yeah, I always say that being in the weight loss space taught me very, very clearly, very, very early, and very, very strongly that the obesity epidemic is not a math problem. It's not calories in, calories out, although calories are important, and there is math in the equation. This is a biochemistry problem.
Yeah.
This is a hormonal imbalance problem.
Right.
All calories are not created equal. They all trigger downstream different hormonal responses. And area under the curve, once you have a tipping point of area under the curve of exposure of these certain hormones, you will get metabolic inefficiencies or metabolic dysfunction. In other words, metabolic disease. And these are all diseases on a spectrum of what I call diseases of abundance, of too much. It's too much blood sugar, too much blood pressure, too many triglycerides, too much adipose tissue, too much fed state. They're not diseases of scarcity. And this is really eye-opening, and I just hope to just define metabolic disease as diseases of abundant metabolic energy all around us. And those manifest typically as diabetes, hypertension, truncal obesity, insulin resistance, and then ultimately heart disease, cancer, dementia, cognitive decline. And I really, really believe, as the title of this episode would imply, that it's enemy number one, that if you have any ambition to live a long, vibrant, healthy life with minimal impact of chronic disease, and you don't have a primary strategy of delaying metabolic disease onset, you will not be successful to the extent of your full potential.
Yeah.
It's that big of a deal. And it's just unlikely to be successful if this is not a major, major strategy.
Yeah.